everyone, how's it going? I'm Nikki with Green Sprout Living. Today we are doing another farm tour. We are out at Botkin Farms here and we are going to learn a little bit about some of the animals that she raises. So I am kind of doing this as a homeschool tour, but I am actually learning myself because I have never been around any of these animals, and she was kind enough to let us come over and see some of them. So we're going to see some goats, we're going to see some chickens, and possibly even some pigs. So like I say, I have never ever been around any kind of animals like this, but I do aspire to have animals on my homestead in the future. So this is a good way, if you are not familiar with animals, is to get with somebody, find somebody that has animals that will let you come over and get comfortable and acquainted with them. So let's check out her farm today.
Maple syrup.
You do all the things that I want to do. This is so cool.
I wish I would have been better prepared because I have like his syrup, I don't know what it's called actually, where you put the syrup in and it cooks and
yes,
all the liquid.
Oh my gosh. So we are coming back out here during maple syrup time because we have to do maple syrup tapping. I've always wanted to do that. You guys actually tap the trees here?
We tap them here, but then we also go to like 5 or 6 other people within our block. There's a 5-mile radius that we do, and it's within our block, and we tapped, I want to say, over 400 gallons this year.
Oh my gosh, is that not amazing? I can't believe you do that. That is so cool.
I'll send you home some syrup this evening. This is our syrup.
So you can it and you can
and
preserve it and
yes.
everything. That is so cool.
Yeah. Our neighbor has already went through 5 gallons of this by himself.
Well, that's the only kind of sweetener that I use is maple syrup. So, and it's expensive.
Super expensive.
So, yeah.
So it takes a lot though.
Oh,
we only got 13 gallons of syrup out of the 400 gallons that we tapped.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So how long does it take to cook it down?
All night.
Just keep it cooking
You
all.
have to keep it at a certain temperature.
I have to do something on maple syrup tapping because I was actually going to go on a through the university. They put on presentation and it was way down south and I couldn't make it, and I wanted to know because I'm like, that's awesome. So
this coming winter,
yeah,
we start, I think, January or February,
okay.
And then after the first frost, it's done because the maple gets bitter,
right,
if you harvest it too late.
Okay.
And so we stop as soon as the first frost.
So what kind of maple trees? Is there certain kinds of maple trees that you can tap?
There are, but there also aren't. Like
Okay.
some are better than others, and I don't know the specifics on that.
Okay.
But yeah, ours
Yes.
turned out really good. They were nursing. We had them on a gestation, which had like a higher protein, and there's some more things in there that are just better during the gestation, and then, or lactation, I'm sorry. So whatever they're feeding right now is just gestation, and that just keeps their diet where they're not getting an abundance of weight at a time.
How did you get them so calm?
We have raised all of these except for the black and white ones. We actually birthed them here, and then we sold them, and then he needed to get rid of some, and so we bought them back. So we come out here every day, check on them, make sure, especially whenever they're nursing, that they don't have the case of mastitis. We're hands-on. We move them, we put them in the stock trailer, we walk them. If they get out, I can walk them from the front yard all the way back here.
Really? And they'll just follow you kind of like most of the time?
They will. Especially if I have feed or a treat for them, they'll follow me, no problem.
So you have different areas that you put them in. How often do you rotate them?
So we actually just raise them on here. but we were moving them up there during the winter to give birth in a farrowing crate, just to see that the baby piglets were kind of doing okay, especially during the winter time. We try to move them at least once a month, whether it be just to put them in a different trailer and take them up there for a couple days and then move them back. We're actually getting ready to take them into like a holding pen for a single pig so we can artificial inseminate.
Oh my goodness.
So we're gonna try that.
Wow,
Yeah.
you do all the things. So when they have their piglets, do you have to immediately move the piglets away from them?
No.
They stay with them?
All of our moms this go around have their piglets in their huts.
Okay.
And they, for the most part, will stay with them. A lot of our mothers are good enough mothers that they will take on extras, or they'll share the duties of nursing.
Really?
They're all nursing at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Well, let's go check out the piglets. For our first year, we're going to try to do our own feed.
Oh, wow,
And
that would be
just
neat.
buy like a supplement or other stuff like that to feed our pigs this winter.
Cool.
So first, we're going to try it. We're always trying to think of ways to save money and
Be more self-sufficient, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so how many acres do you have out here?
we have 22 acres, give or take. A lot of it back there is, I think there's 5 acres that are woods. We actually use that whenever we tap the trees for syrup.
Okay.
And then we had cows out there a couple of years ago, and so we used it as an additional pad or
So you don't have cows now?
no, we
No,
don't.
okay.
We got rid of those last year. Cows are not fun to chase.
Oh, I bet not.
Tyler was working out of town, and the cows were out. Our neighbor called and was
no.
like, "You need to catch your cows." I was like, "I have a baby. I will try my hardest."
Okay, so do the pigs get out often? Like, what kind of fencing do you have to have? Like, do you have to electric fence or anything like
So-
that to keep them
I
in?
actually tried it. It worked-ish. They actually just do better with hog panels, and as long as we can keep up with the upkeep of it, they stay in pretty
They stay.
well.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Very cool. So now we're gonna go see some piglets.
Yeah.
So now you keep them in here.
This is where we wean them. When we pull them off the mom, we start out giving them feed, and a lot of the times they'll eat what mom eats.
Okay.
They do have a special weaning feed that helps like with diarrhea and stuff like that. Just the normal change of diet.
So now are these going to be rotated? Like, are you going to?
So these are actually going to be the pigs that we butcher
Okay.
for ourselves.
For yourself,
And,
okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
So the bigger pigs in there, or piglets, are actually a week or two older than the smaller ones. We are actually at a point where we need to move them into other pens and spread them out because they're going to start fighting and things will get interesting.
How big can pigs get? How big can they get?
Our boar, he recently passed, was I think 480 pounds. He was a big boy. He was like this big. His head hit me chest.
Holy moly, that's a huge pig.
Yes. But he was so docile. He was awesome.
Does that mean friendly?
Yes, just very even-tempered, and I could get in and pet him, and he'd let me scratch behind his ear. He was good. Well, let's walk over here, and I'm gonna grab a bucket and show you the difference between feeds.
Okay.
So we order bulk feed from the mill, and they deliver it and put it into our bulk bins. This is for our sows, and I'm just gonna get a little bit out and show you. This is like a finer grind. It doesn't have as many corn kernels in it. Different mills do different varieties. Sometimes we'll get more chunky corn, but most of the time it's pretty fine. And a lot of people, we haven't tried it yet, are starting to soak their feed to get it to ferment.
Okay, I've heard of that before.
We're looking into it. We
So
just haven't.
what is that? Do you know what that does?
Denser.
Okay.
Just has
More nutrient dense?
more nutrient
Okay.
dense, and it also helps them with weight. So we're
Interesting.
looking into it more.
Yeah.
It's not something that we've been interested in
So how long have you had pigs?
since 2016.
2016.
Yes.
That's awesome. What was the first animal that you got on this?
Pigs.
It was pigs.
We had chickens first.
Okay.
And then pigs were our first big animal.
Okay. I've always heard chickens are like the gateway animal for homesteading. So once you get
Started with
chickens,
40 chicks.
oh my gosh.
Yes, and we have just grown.
So that was part one of our Botkin farm tour. She showed us her pig operation. Very interesting. I think it's really neat. I don't necessarily know if pigs are going to be in our future, but it was neat to see. So if you would like to come back, check out the goats, and the chickens, which I'm super excited about. So let's go see her operation of goats and chickens.